Hi guys, it's Philip Martin and welcome to On Film on Video. Outside my house, the tree guys are taking down a very large, I would say probably, I don't know, 75-foot tall, maybe 100-foot tall tree, and they're taking it down outside my window here. So you might hear some chainsaw action as we go on, but as as my lovely wife put it, uh, we do live in an urban area, and there are noises, and we take what we get. But if you hear this, that's what that is. So, just warning you, I couldn't wait to put this off any longer. Besides, this is going to be an all-day job. They've been at it all morning. They got here about 8 o'clock, and it's noon now back on Tuesday because we do these in advance because the movie style is basically done by Wednesday. So, yeah, it's just the magic of time shifting. One thing I want to bring out right away is that next week, on December 10th, which is a Thursday, the Arkansas Art Center, Arkansas Cinema Society is presenting an online screening of It's a Wonderful Life, the 1946 Frank Capra film that stars Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed in her movie debut about George Bailey and Bedford Falls. And it's one of those movies that even if you haven't seen it, you probably know what it's like. And the upshot is I'm going to be doing a commentary. I think as the film's going on, I'm going to be doing either on the chat and function on Zoom, or I will live tweet it as an alternative. And my Twitter feed is at BorkDog right there. You can see it there. That's where I'll be doing that. And then after the film, we're going to have a discussion about it. I'm going to lead the discussion, which we'll see how that goes. I have some thoughts, and we're going to spin those thoughts out, and we're going to take questions, and it'll be a lot of fun. One of the ways you could see, I think it starts at 6 o'clock on Thursday. Now, if you want to see it before that, or if you want to tune in for the Q&A and not catch it on your computer screen or movie or telephone or whatever, you can see the film. They're showing it at Riverdale, I think on Tuesday. So December 8th, it'll be at Riverdale, and then we're going to do it on the 10th online. Go to the Arkansas Art Center website, and you can find the information for it. My Sunday column is going to have some information on it, and I think we'll have a little information on it in today's movie style section. So all those bases are covered. I'm all George Bailey'd up, and some of you are going to say, well, do you actually like that film? And the truth is, it doesn't really matter. It's a very interesting film, and every time I watch it, I have a different take on it, a slightly different take. I have my thoughts on Frank Capra, and I tend to think it's his last really good movie, and it is a good movie. It's not the movie that a lot of people think it is, I don't think. I think it's a very dark movie. I think it's a very pessimistic view of American life. And I'll talk about that back when we get into, the film. I mean, I can't talk about it now because I can't show the film, can't do that. I don't want to undercut my own thing. But we're doing that as, like I said, that's for the Arkansas Art Center with the help of the Arkansas Cinema Society, and I'm really happy to be helping with them. We're talking about maybe putting together a program next year where I will be doing, some commentary on some films for the Art Center, and I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to the Cinema Society helping out, not the least because they seem to have the technological end of this all figured out and have some software that will make it really cool to be able to do this. I've done some things with the Cinema Society before. I did a Zoom call for the St. Francis movie, which was wonderful. It was a good experience. So I'm really happy to do that and really, interested in doing that. Okay, so we've wonderful lifed it up. Okay, next bit of business. If you're watching this, and don't do this if you see it, you have to wait till Friday till it's actually. So if you're watching in advance, you can't do this until Friday. But if you would like to win a copy of the Brandon Cronenberg film Possessor, which actually comes out on Tuesday, I think that's when these come out. I think it's coming out on December 8th, actually. I happen to have two copies that I'm giving away. Now, how do you get one of these? Well, I'm going to generate a random number, actually two random numbers. And what I want you to do is send me an email, pmartin@adg.newsroom or adgnewsroom.com, and throw one of those numbers in it and throw your address in it. Maybe you'll win. It's a number from 1 to 100. Okay, 1 to 100, two randomly generated numbers. If the first person that picks a number that's right is going to get it, I'm not going to fool around with this. The alternative way is to follow me at BorkDog and send me a direct message. But you have to follow me first because I need more followers. So if you're on Twitter, go ahead and follow me now, and then send me a direct message with a number from 1 to 100, and you may win one of two copies of Possessor Uncut, the Brandon Cronenberg movie that people are calling unnervingly good at getting under your skin. And I haven't seen it. It's not my kind. I love David Cronenberg. Some of his movies I really were into back in the day, and he was one of my favorite directors for a while. I'm just fascinated with some of the stuff. And Brandon apparently has a modus operandi that's not too far different from his father, a stylistic sense that's not too far different from his father. And, I probably would like it if I watched it. I'm just not, right now, scary movies is just not what I want to do. Not in 2020. Not when we're so far behind with everything else we have to catch up on. I just saw Nomadland this week, and it's one of the best films of the year. Even though I promised you I would see Mank, I haven't seen it yet, so I'll probably see that this week. I'm building toward my end of the year list, which we're still going to do the last Sunday of the year, like we've done it for more than 20 years now. So we're going to keep doing that. But I don't know about the other top 10 lists that we habitually do, because it's a good way for content to produce content in the off months of what normally the off months are January and February. So I don't know if we're going to do that or not. I mean, if you have an opinion on that, please send me a direct message or email me, pmartin@adgnewsroom.com. I can't say that enough because I forget it myself. But, if you have any thoughts about whether we should do, top 10 list or whatever, let me know. It's something that we're sort of, I do think that by March or April, we're going to start to see things get back to normal, but that's still a long way away. So, yeah. Speaking of things not being normal, we have 3 movies opening this week that I know of right now: Half Brothers, All My Life, and The Prom. And we have no reviews of them at this moment. That doesn't mean there's not going to be reviews in the newspaper. It just means I haven't seen them. Piers Marchant has already checked in and says he hasn't seen them. And I have not heard from Mr. Liebarger in Kansas City, who I'm checking right now to see if he sent me anything. Nope, he has not. So we don't know whether we're going to be able to review these movies or not. I'm going to do my best to find out about them, and I'll write about them in the new movies column, which we've been running for the last few months now, and we will cover them. But this is one of the pandemic. The problems of the pandemic is that I never know from week to week what movies are opening. I don't think the theater actually know what they're booking next week already. So we're just all reaching around and grabbing what we can. So they grab that. We got Wrong Footed. One's a focus feature. The Ryan Murphy one, The Prom, is really kind of minorly interesting to me. It's a musical, and it's based on a Broadway musical. And I know absolutely nothing about it, except I do know Murphy's sort of. I've seen a lot of his stuff, a lot of his TV series, and it's sort of this kind of arch and very. I don't know. Sometimes I like it, and sometimes it just sort of, I think it's too clever. But he's certainly got a lot of style, and I'm interested in at least watching this to see if I want to continue to watch it. The other two, to be honest, don't sound all that promising to me. All My Life sounds like, not saying it is, sounds like a pretty standard romantic comedy, PG-13 romantic comedy. And Half Brothers, I just have a vague idea that it's some sort of comedy. So we will carry on. And if we, like I said, it's all up in the air. We might be able to have reviews of all three of these movies. But at this point, it looks like we won't. So we're just going to carry on and do stuff. I've got a really good, interesting story about how the movies portray poverty, which is something I almost wanted to write about myself, but because I wanted to write about The Bicycle Thief and Winter's Bone. But I've sort of already spent one column on Hillbilly Elegy, and we had a review, and then we had Piers's review, and so let's just let that go. But it's still really interesting how the movies look at poor people, because in the movies, it's sort of, Hollywood movies sort of default to this upper middle class normalcy. It's sort of like if you look at the John Hughes movies, those people never thought of themselves as rich, but look at the houses they're living in and the cars they have and all that. It's like the kids are moving through this affluent world. Think of Ferris Bueller's Day Off and stuff like that. And then they have the poor girl who actually lives in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, like most of America does. But Winter's Bone was a really good look at how poor people live. And The Bicycle Thief, or Bicycle Thieves, I guess, as it's probably better known now, though I still go back to the old one, is just one of my favorite movies, and the thing about being poor is that it's not that you don't have any money. It's that you have a little money, and you're very, very, very conscious of exactly how little money you have. So things that happen in Hillbilly Elegy, like, and this is the last time I'm bringing it up, but like when his credit cards declined, he would know whether his credit card was going to work or not. If you're poor, you know how much money you can withdraw from the ATM. You aren't surprised by it. But anyway, that's not my rant. It's a very good little piece by someone who wrote it for the New York Times, and I don't know who that someone was, except his first name is Joshua. Don't know him. Don't recognize his byline from anywhere, but it's a very good piece. We're also going to have another Piers flashback on Criterion, and we're going to get, once we finish this streak of Criterion collection looks at the movies in it, we're going to start with some other. We're going to use a Film Movement and Kino and Arrow, and we're going to just kind of make that a semi-permanent, another way to look back at a movie. Because to be honest, boys and girls, the original flashback idea just is sort of run dry, because I threw it open to you folks, to write about movies that mattered to you in a way that was a little bit different than just doing a book report. And we did really well for about a year, and then it's just sort of flattened out, and there's no more. So we're going to do this, and if we get one of the others that's good and worth running, we will run it. So all you people that really want to do a flashback, you still have that opportunity, but I'm not killing a feature just because of lack of participation from the class. Okay? Anyway, so we're going to keep running those. I've got to get to work because I've got to go find a bunch of art before I get out of here. And I'm going to get out of here in a few minutes and go ride my bike because it's a beautiful 48-degree day with no clouds in the sky. And I have my new movies piece to write, but I'm going to have to wait and see what we're going to get before I write that. So I'm going to have a couple hours. I'm going to take a little bike ride. How about that? So anyway, and Dan Lieberger, if you're out there, get in touch with me about this stuff, okay? Well, anyway, that's it for this week. We have It's a Wonderful Life next week, and that's both at Riverdale, and then later on Thursday, we're going to make a deal of it online. You have to go to the Arkansas Cinema Society page to figure that out. And then we've got movies coming out. We've got Uncle Frank on Amazon Prime. We've got Collective, which I don't know where that is, but it's a really good movie. And we're working toward finalizing and figuring out what this year meant movie-wise, which it's been a very odd and interesting year. That's an understatement, but it hasn't been a total wash. So we'll get into that. Okay. Later, we'll see you in the funny papers, and take care. All right. Stay safe.